Hello all. Welcome back to another edition of Is God the A-hole? It's a good question. It's a good question, very pertinent, very specific to our day and age. I've been doing this for a little bit. I'm really having a lot of fun. Today we're going through Genesis. We're still in Genesis, so we haven't even made it out of the double digits of Genesis. Actually, I don't think Genesis goes into triple digits. We haven't made it out of the beginning of Genesis, which is great. I do think that Genesis is one of the less wacky books, which is strange, but it definitely does get a lot wackier, especially during the other books of the Old Testament. But today I want to share with you, and I'm going to start doing this. I'm gonna grab my favorite comment from this segment and share it with you, just so we can all see the wonderful and encouraging feedback that we're all getting going through the Bible, doing a Bible study that is well respected and enlightening for all people concerned. So I want to share with you this comment that I got that was just fantastic feedback. Where is it? I will just grab it. Oh, there it is. Yes, I saved it as idiot. Yes, I realized that. Oh, let me zoom in. So this was from Brent Matthey. The definition of stupid is when an idiot jester, a deceptive clown, entertains the beasts of the feld. I'm not sure what that is. It's field, field. Well, he reads the Bible to a thirsty audience through a secular lens. And then I wrote back, no, stupid is actually some cultist getting angry at another person because they don't believe your imaginary friend is real. So that's so encouraging, and thank you. I didn't know that I had an audience, but apparently, so welcome to the entire audience out there. I love to see you. It's so fantastic, and I love getting encouraging feedback like this, which really, it touches my heart. It touches my... Look, okay, so Left-Handed Jedi, so good to see you. So good to see you. No, I gotcha. I before E. Like, okay, so English is hard, okay? English is a hard language. I mentioned this the other day. It is a hard language, okay? Like Japanese, Spanish, they're a lot easier than English, and some of its rules are stupid. Now, the rule is not just I before E, because you have things... like so the except before C. So niece, for instance, right? You've got niece. It's Neice, right? Like nephew and niece. So not before a C, right? And then you have some exceptions to that, like either and neither. Neither nor, right? Like, so Neither. So you have all these look, there's more exceptions than there is actual instances of it being implemented. So that's a bit weird, but hey, oh, thank you, Brent. I really enjoyed your feedback, and I hope that more comes in, because I really enjoyed it. I love, look, okay, Jinx, mate, what, look, that's obviously German. Come on. I mean, seriously, it doesn't apply to non-English words. All right, that's it. I come on, man. Like, seriously, you're not even trying. That's obviously German, and German is not bound by the I before E rule. Okay, just give me 1 second. I got a bonk Jinx here. Like, seriously, mate. I'm gonna give you a good old... Yeah, there you go. There you go. There you go. Yeah, I've been speaking my title. Look, I love English. It's a beautiful language. It's bloody hard. Like, I really do feel for people having to learn it, like, straight off the bat. It is bloody hard. And then you have regional stuff, like Australian English is nonsensical and stupid. Like, the weird thing about Australian English is that we shorten every single word, right? This is the weird thing. We shorten every single word except for the ones that are short, and we make them longer. And that's the stupidest thing. It's like, instead of like service station, we have a servo, or afternoon we say arvo. But if something's short, we make it longer, like Davo instead of. It's stupid. It's so stupid. Look, I'm right on board. It's a stupid thing to do, but hey, it's fun and it's a beautiful language. It's a beautiful language. Oh, it's a beautiful language. Is Australian. You can you can you can stick your fingers right up his butthole. It's a beautiful language. Come on now. It's a beautiful dialect. You've got to admit it. Come on. You're with me, right? Come on. So a bit of housekeeping. Today we're doing Genesis 13 and 14, of course. Have your Bibles at the ready. I know you have them in your breast pocket, close to your heart, where your heart can just read the Bible all by itself. Call you Bruce. Sure, Sheila. No worries, eh? Loaf of Dodger. Okay, bread. Yeah, no, I haven't heard that. No. I don't know. Proben, is that a like a statewide thing? I don't know what that is. But the bonk hammer is a small square. Yeah, sometimes the graphics don't work on YouTube. I make no guarantees. I make no guarantees. Look, I didn't come here to talk about Australian stupid words for stuff. I came here to talk about the Bible, our book, our book that governs all of our behavior, and asking that eternal question: does God have an? I mean, is God an asshole? That is what we're asking today. I hope that doesn't demonetize me, but hey, why not? Screw it. I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore. So we'll first get up, but I think that next month I've got an interview on Kelly's, and I see Kelly in the audience. Welcome, Kelly. That's going to be great. I expect to learn a bit about Detroit because I had to admit the other day I know nothing about Detroit. Like Detroit, all I know is it has crime. That's about it. I think. I don't know. Or maybe I'm thinking of another city like Philadelphia or something. I don't know. I don't know much about Detroit. I really do not. I don't know much about a lot of cities in America. I gotta admit. I really have to admit I don't know a lot about them, but that's okay. I will learn. I will talk to people. I'll talk to Kelly. She's gonna let me know, and I'll fill you in on that. I'll make sure I post something on my Discord. I did get a message that Discord is sort of implementing. Yeah, March 15th. Yeah, so basically a month. Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to it. From what I've seen of the Black Non-Believers group. The Black Non-Believers group, Mandisa, I've never met her. Kelly, I've met. They're fierce, and I love it. I think it's amazing. They're so outspoken. They're so confident. They're awesome. Absolutely awesome. I am impressed with everything I've seen from them. Real awesome people. Robin Webster, member for 23 months? Really? Over 2 years? 2 years. Robin, what are you doing? Hello, friends. Hello, Robin. Look, Robin, I haven't seen... Robin did a debate lately over on... I was going to message you because... Robin did a debate over on... what was it? Proverbs Guys? Whatever they're calling themselves now. I really wanted to see it. I haven't had the time yet, but I will watch it. And I was thinking about sort of maybe taking them up on their debates, even though it is on their crappy channel, which I dislike. Just because I got to get more debates. I really do. It's the current thing that's frustrating me. Hang on, my camera looks a little. Does my camera look blurry to anybody else? I know I'm all over the place here. Yeah, better. I think I need more numbers, like more like I think that getting debates is probably going to be easier if you have more subscribers, and that's the sort of conundrum for me, that I need subscribers to get debates, and I really need debates to get subscribed, right? Because really my debates is what this channel was built upon. It's really what I want to show people. And I feel like I'm pulling teeth over here to get anybody cornered into a debate. It's a little frustrating. But yeah. Oh, thanks, Robin. Really appreciate it. Yeah, I really I have a debate for you. Yeah, sure, absolutely. Yeah, I'm all over that. I'd love to. I would absolutely love to. Look, if you got one, send it my way. I'm good. But if you're new, welcome. We are going through the Bible. Whip out your Bible. Look, don't whip it out in public, but whip out your Bible in private, and have fun with it. Just get into it. That's fine. Just not in public, okay? Just not in public. It's a bit naughty. Bit naughty. Let's see. Boop. And I just did a room rumble. Look, I just posted a room rumble, right? And I I never know what to say at the start. I try to explain what I'm doing there because, who knows how I end up in these places where people are arguing about biblical slavery. I don't know how I end up there. Okay. So mostly it's just, oh, I saw this and dropped in. But, I really feel for Dustin who was in. I really feel for him. I used to have an anger problem. I tell that to people. They don't they don't believe me. And no, I really did. Sort of as part of sort of a tism, I did have a sort of frustration with a lot of things, and I totally get where people are coming from. But I gotta ask, like, do you feel the same when you get angry and then you blow up? Because everybody gets angry, everybody blows up. It happens, and then you calm down. And I hate the feeling afterwards of going, yeah, I don't, I kind of regret. You might snap and say something that you don't mean, kind of thing. And I always feel afterwards that sort of adrenaline kind of gone, oh, I feel like crap. Like, so I wanna talk to Dustin and sort of I want to help the guy, but I don't know what to do. And I don't think he hates me. I think he just thinks I'm belittling him. I'm really not trying to. Yeah, look, Ember, I would love to. There's a problem with that I'd definitely be taking the Star Trek option. I'm sorry. It depends. Like, okay, so I would love to host that one. So that's a difficult question. That is a difficult question because if you're talking about Star Wars at its pinnacle, at its best, which is quite obviously The Empire Strikes Back, right? Like when it was like right in the groove, that is better to me than Star Trek. But overall, Star Trek is vastly superior to Star Wars. Like overall, it absolutely is. That's my opinion on it. So I can sort of see both sides. So I wouldn't. Yeah. Yeah, I decided to shave myself today. I got razor burn. I usually don't shave. I just use an electric razor. This time, like, it was getting a bit beyond control. I tried to shave, and I kind of I didn't scratch out my face, but I certainly got some razor burn when I did it, which is terrible. But I hate having to shave. It's really annoying. I totally get any trans person going, "Hey, I'm gonna laser this shit off and not have to shave." Like I might do it just because I don't want to shave anymore. Quite frankly, it's annoying. Actually, it's kind of annoying to me that I grow anything. Like, I wish my nails wouldn't keep growing. It's such a pain in the ass. And maybe it's just me. I find it just such a pain. Like, I wish my nails would just grow to a certain length and then just cut it the fuck out. Like, just stop. I don't need any more of you. It's fine. Like, why aren't our bodies just like will grow hair to a certain length and then stop? Like, or nails and then stop. It's it's not right. It's not right. Uh yeah, yeah, sure. Absolutely. Yeah, join the Discord. Links in the channel. We have, and I just want to shout out to the fantastic moderators on Discord. They pick up stuff really quick. I had someone come in that spammed, and I didn't even see the spam. The moderators there, fantastic. The channel moderators like Robin, Titan, Ember, anyone else that I'm missing. Who else is a moderator on here? They are fantastic. Like Titan is amazing and runs, and like I don't think I could survive without Titan. The unfortunate thing is he knows it. But yeah, absolutely amazing. All the mods, big shout out, much love. I really appreciate it because I don't see them shouted out enough. They do amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. Okay, so let's get into this. First off the bat, and do follow along with your Christian approved Bible. I hope you've had it stamped with the blood of Christ. Am I the arsehole for not warning my best friend's nephew about impending disaster? Sure. Yeah, probably is my first reaction. Yes, probably. You can survive without me? Not happily, Titan. Not happily. It's not a life worth living, my friend. Absolutely not. Look, I am really thankful that Titan adopted me. I really am. I am a lucky boy. I really am. Hey, Sapphire. So this may be a weird post, but a long time ago I made a promise to this guy, Abram, that its descendants would inherit the land of Canaan. Yeah, weird promise, but sure, why not? Why not promise that? Sure. Okay. For a bit of backstory, Abram and his nephew Lot returned from Egypt, and they had become extremely wealthy. Don't ask how. Do you know how they became wealthy? I know how they became wealthy. Yeah, Abram kind of sold his sister and his wife to the Pharaoh, or at least rented her to the Pharaoh. And that is the same person, by the way. He rented out his sister and wife, who were the same person. Yes. It was a positively. Oh, thanks, Titan. A positively sort of southern state situation going on down there. The sister and wife were in fact the same person, Sarai. Yeah, their livestock multiplied to the point that the land couldn't sustain them together. So a lot of conflict broke out between their herdsmen. I don't know why. Like, are we talking about like them fighting over grazing rights? You know, you would think that a god would be able to, you know, implement some sort of grazing rights and some sort of rotation for them to be able to live comfortably together. But I'm not sure why. But instead, Abram takes the lead here. Or he is Abraham, like it's the same person, just he is known as Abram in the early Bible. I'm not even sure why that is. I might ask Kip why that is when I next see him. Dr. Kip Davies, our resident bibliographer, bibliophile, definitely a bibliophile, but I'm not sure what somebody. Let's just call him biblical scholar. Okay, he knows all. He sees all. He's basically God around here, quite frankly. Abram decided to choose the diplomatic route instead of asserting his seniority. I think that, I could be wrong, but I think that was a big thing around those times, that the oldest basically had this idea of seniority. I'm not sure, you know, today's age, you know, giving the oldest the sort of authority by default just because you're the oldest, isn't that a recipe for disaster? You know, a couple presidencies later, I feel like that is not a good idea at all. Like, you know, maybe when people didn't live as long, you know, they dropped off the perch about 60. Maybe that they were actually really wise at that point. But I think that giving really old people authority, you know, I think there is a peak time that you have the most knowledge. But, you know, once you get older, it really does. Well, it doesn't necessarily go downhill, but it really can. Unfortunately, dementia and Alzheimer's are things that we've found out. You don't necessarily get smarter the more you get older. That is true. And as I've said in a previous stream, any young person going, oh, old people are wise and they know a lot. No, no. They've just had the chance to make more mistakes. That's all. Some people learn from them, some people don't. They've just had the opportunity to make more mistakes. Doesn't mean they have. So you get some people who are older, they haven't really um they haven't really made that many mistakes. They haven't really learnt from their mistakes, and they're just as stupid as the average, 18-year-old. Just saying. Just saying. But some 18-year-olds, they've been through the ringer already in their lives, made a lot of mistakes, learnt from them. So, I don't judge by age. That's all I can say. Anyway, instead of asserting his seniority or leaning on the fact that I had personally called him, he offered Lot the first choice of territory. Oh, what a guy. It was generous and possibly stupid move, but Abraham really liked Lot and was aware that he was promised all the land. Yeah, so I feel like this is a bit of a setup, because God sort of promised him all the land, and he said, Lot, you choose first. Is it you, or is something up with YouTube? Could you be more specific, please? If something is wrong with the stream, I do want to know. I want to know if my stream's failing. I want to know. I don't know who does that, but excuse me? Have you seen your somebody's president? Have you seen the US president lately, Daryl? Something is up with YouTube. Why? What's up with YouTube? What's happening? Hold it. Let's go live. Oh. It seems fine to me. I'm just going to progress. It's not the stream. Something's up with YouTube. It's not the stream. The main page is having trouble showing the feed. Oh. Is it being... No, nothing's being hidden. I'm not hiding anything. Maybe chat, you've failed to, live up to your covenant with God, and you're being smote. That particular comment was smote by God. No channels displaying. YouTube has crashed. My YouTube seems to be fine. What are you talking about? YouTube. Oh, yeah, something went wrong. Try again. Something still went wrong. Wow. Okay. Hey, this is it. YouTube is now... YouTube's over. It's it. Close it down. Close it down. All of the suggestions. No, you don't get it anymore. You don't get it anymore. It's done. It's done. YouTube's over. See, I'm going. Bye-bye. I'm off. Yeah, weird, hey? Don't worry. I mean, they will fix it fast. Can't log into my living room or PC. Dang. Okay, so God decided that YouTube... Maybe it was because Stephen Colbert... Maybe it's because Stephen Colbert released that interview of the Texas representative. What was his name? The Texas representative? Maybe because he released it on YouTube. Maybe the FCC has taken YouTube down. My YouTube is fine. Oh, something went wrong. Yeah, no, that was a thing. Look, we're still here. We're still going. I might miss out on a few viewers. I don't care. This is fun anyway. You can still search channels. Yeah, and I linked it in my Discord as well. So hopefully everybody that wants to will come along. Maybe I can't. Oh, can I redirect? Well, we'll find out. Lot surveyed the land and chose the Jordan Valley because it looked lush, fertile, and well-watered. And he said it resembled Eden in appearance. I don't know how he knew what Eden looked like, but that is not the point. Yeah, Tellurico. Yeah, Tellurico. He basically, it was funny. Stephen Colbert basically said that Tellurico was forbidden from being mentioned on his thingo, which is weird because he's currently in a primary, I believe. So, like, he basically did it anyway, and then showed the interview that he wasn't allowed to show on CBS, I believe it was, on YouTube. So maybe they're trying to close it down. Yeah, I don't know. This is weird because it said that, like, oh, Lot goes, oh, this looks like Eden. And the question that I had is, how did Lot know what Eden looked like? I'm absolutely sure there was a angel with a flaming sword guarding Eden, so it doesn't. Hit the like. Send some money before it breaks, Majestic. No, I'm joking. Look, I'm joking. But hit the like, yes, and subscribe before everything breaks. Share with a friend so they can actually have something to watch instead of a YouTube broken page. There you go. There you go. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah, no, I don't think so. Because that would just cause sort of latency and bandwidth issues. It's not going to cause things from hitting an actual error. It's probably something to do with the routing to the servers, I would imagine, or perhaps, yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but I doubt it. It's overload. I would be shocked if YouTube could be overloaded, considering the backup servers they've. Anyway, you could be right. You could be right. Maybe they're being DDoSed, distributed denial of service attack. Yeah, but how did Lot know what Eden looked like? It's really, really wild. It's really wild. Have you tried turning it off and on again? That's all I can say. The issue was the cities nearby were deeply corrupt and evil. I knew that, but Lot likely did not know the situation, or he probably would go elsewhere. Would have gone elsewhere. Here's where I'm aware I may look questionable. I didn't warn Lot. I didn't interrupt. I didn't nudge Abram to clarify anything. I allowed Lot to choose based purely on what looked prosperous. Thank you, Substupidity. I really appreciate it. Here's some money for doing stuff. I do stuff. Stuff is what I do. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you like my stuff. Look, here's a big shout out. That's stuff just for you, STS. Thank you. Some of the spends say warned Lot, or somehow resolved the situation better, but I did have a lot on my plate at the time. Look, I don't know how a omnipotent God is, unable to do anything, but hey, Lot chose out of his own free will. After Lot left, I spoke to Abram and expanded the promise I had already made to him. Wow, that's interesting. I took him to look in every direction, and assured him that all of it would ultimately belong to his descendants, which is kind of a dick move to Lot, because you've basically, Abram said, choose the direction and this land will be yours, kind of thing. And Lot goes, oh, I'll have this. And then God comes along later and goes, hey, Abram, all of it's going to be yours anyway, mate. Don't fret. Don't fret. Or your descendants are gonna belong. It's gonna belong to your descendants. Now, so Lot was Abram's nephew. Okay, so he was his nephew. But when you say Abram's descendants, you're kind of, Lot isn't a descendant of Abram. He's a descendant of his brother. So you're basically saying, hey, the land that Lot chose, it's going to belong to you, even though he chose it and you said chose it. Yeah. I emphasize abundance and permanence right after Abram had seemingly given up the best portion. Now, some other gods have said I waited until the good land was chosen to reassure the one I preferred. Yeah, that would be my problem with it. However, Abram was my favorite and I really wanted him to get a good start in life. Yeah, okay. From my perspective, I value freedom and character formation. Abram's generosity mattered and Lot's decision revealed what he prioritized. Or alternatively, I could be like literally the devil's advocate. Don't comment on that in the comments, all right? I'll have to show it next week. Because I'll have more comments. Apparently, I'm a devil and a demon and evil and stuff like that. Apparently, but yeah, or Lot could, to be devil advocate, Lot could just be looking after his own people and wanting them to, I don't know, be prosperous. It might not have been a selfish decision. Is it bad if you're a leader and you go, hey, I will choose the best for my people? I don't think so. I don't think so. I kind of think that, oh, he prioritized, abundance. Well, yeah, why wouldn't you? Is it because he didn't, like, Abraham's your favorite and he didn't go, oh, well, you're the most senior, you should have the best one? I don't know. But if you're, it's kind of like that person that goes, you choose which portion you want. You cut the cake, you choose which one you want. Oh, I'll take this one, which seems to have more. How dare you? How dare you select that one? Well, why give them a choice in the first place? So, yeah, I don't get that. Some have said that I lured Lot into making a bad decision, but I didn't force him to choose the land that looked prosperous, even if I made the circumstance surrounding it. So, am I the arsehole for letting Lot choose a dangerous situation that looked tempting without warning him? Am I just as bad for promising Abram that his descendants would own all of the land? Edit. Yes, I knew what Sodom would become. I'm omniscient. Of course I knew. That's one of the cities, by the way, was Sodom. He's talking about the cities in the area. Edit 2. No, I couldn't have stopped humans fighting. Organizing these people is like herding cats. And if anyone has tried to organize humans, I'm sure they can relate. I'm absolutely sure they can relate. But for you beautiful people, if I can find it, I will get the poll running. Give me 1 second, because the stream is not coming up because YouTube is broken. So yeah, I'm a little bit boned on that one, but no, hey, I got it. It's fine. So we're asking the question. Yeah, it's a YouTube problem. I do apologize. Like, keep posting it. Maybe I don't know. Was God an asshole for not warning Lot about evil cities? Evil cities. Yes, you've all been there. Evil cities. What would be the evilest city in the world? You know what I mean? Like, what would it be? I'm kind of thinking, oh, I don't know, maybe I don't know what that would be. I don't know what that would be. I don't know what that would be. But while you're voting, oh, please, if the poll doesn't work, I don't know what I'm going to do. I might as well just yeah, I might as well just pack it in right now. I've got to have my polls. I am a poll connoisseur. I've got to have it. You don't understand. I am a pole dancer. I need it. I need it. What position do you pick? Let's see. Kent Hovind is way beneath Mark. No, actually, I am at a more southern latitude, I must admit. Oh, you mean in, like, morality? Yeah. Well, I do say I've never been locked up for tax evasion and fraud. I've never had a ruling against me for domestic violence. So does that make me better? Yeah, I think so. Yes. Star Wars, the animated stuff, that was pretty damn good. I got to admit. Clone Wars, fantastic. I'm right there with you, Jedi. Absolutely fantastic. In some ways, the Yoda in Clone Wars was better than the ones in the movie, and that's a hard ask. He was amazing, and the clones were fantastic. I loved how in the animated Clone Wars, all the clones had the same voice. I mean, they saved a bundle, but all the clones sort of had the same voice and the same face, but they were vastly different characters and personalities. Did so well on it. It was fantastic. I highly recommend. I've never gotten angry and said, yeah, that was a good experience right there. Yeah, which makes it weird that sort of, God gets righteously angry. And I don't, I think there is times when anger is useful, but it really worries me, like righteous anger from, I've heard Christians talk about righteous anger, and it seems it seems flawed to start off with. It just seems like you're getting angry about something, but the idea that you're, completely justified and you have this purity about it, it really worries me. It really does. I went juvenile for angry issues. Oh, you went to juvie, like juvenile detention kind of thing? Well, yeah, I look, as you get older, you realize that anger is useful in certain circumstances, but you've got to save it for when it's needed, not just everyday stuff. I get you. I get you. And hey, that's okay, Kelly. I understand. I really do. Discord channel, yeah, I read that out. Boo, Star Wars. Yay, Star Trek. Get the girly gloves on. You'll die on this hill? Well, I don't know if that's really worth dying on the hill for. You just like Star Trek because you and Picard have the same hairstyle. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. And I will say, you're absolutely right. It is. I have Picard bias because he's my favorite captain as well. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Definitely Picard. Definitely Picard. I'm sorry. I will die on that hill. Picard, best captain. You cheat? Oh, come on. You don't tell that to people ahead of time. Come on now. I use a grinding wheel. Yes. Yes. You know what? It's really weird because you hear that phrase that Christians use, that iron sharpens iron. It's like, yeah, so does a grinding wheel or what do they call it? Whetstone. So does a whetstone. Why are you using iron to sharpen? That's a dumb way to sharpen iron, my friend. Use a whetstone. Be reasonable about this. Usually iron blunts iron. Like if you're, sword fighting, iron definitely blunts iron. Use a whetstone, you weirdo. Use a knife sharpener. What are you doing? Seriously. Fully understood. I can only shave a few times, then I'm nothing but ration sores. Beard time. Yeah, I just don't like beards. My wife doesn't like beards. Look, I know that beards are fashionable at the moment. I can't do it. I dislike beards. I don't. I wish I could turn my body hair off. You know what? It's weird because like people were talking on a stream that I saw the other day. I am so not hairy. Like I have very, very little hair, and I'm very, not just on my head. All right, like I know I have no hair on my head. Okay, this is a defense mechanism against the heat around here. Okay, I gotta get rid of the hair. It's just radiates off my head. Yeah, I can survive. We'll survive. It's a very musical episode, this episode, isn't it? I will stop singing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yes, I don't know what that yes was for, but it had such passion. I just want to. I'm right there with you. Whatever it is, I'm on board. Yes. Only the red letter edition will do. Dang. That's the red letter Bible, isn't it? Like the red letter Bible. Actually, speaking of red letters, I really do like red letter media. I like them kind of. Red letter Bible. Why did I look up media? Yeah, they're printed in red ink to highlight their significance. Yeah, all the words that Jesus spoke. Well, I'm not doing the red letter edition for this because Jesus didn't have a lot to say in Genesis. I will say that. Do say that. Rent assist. Yeah, absolutely. And that was the weird thing. It's like, oh, he was very wealthy. And it's like, wait, in the last passage, he just like rented his sister wife to the Pharaoh and he gave him lots of presents. So he got like, it's weird, right? Because you have these Christians going, oh, OnlyFans. And it's like, did you miss the part in the Bible where Abraham became rich by leasing his sister wife out to Pharaoh? And you've got a problem with OnlyFans. I've got a problem with only Abram. Man, only Sarai. That's what I've got a problem with. Holy crap. Like, how did she feel about it? At least OnlyFans is frigging consensual. I don't know how Sarai felt. Well, I mean, I know it's Abraham and Sarah. I know that. Yeah. Don't forget, going across the desert, lying about their brother and sister marriage and the God's blessing it at least 3 times. Yeah, yeah. And I mean, he that was in one of the previous episodes, Beta Ray. That like he basically or he went to Egypt and the pharaoh was interested in her but didn't know it was his wife, because why would you be married to your sister? When in Canaan, uh, come on down to crazy E-bread sister bread, or if you buy now, you get a special fries. Wait, wait, yeah. Uh, Maya and Aunt Jer and Robin are all faster than I am. Lol, I'm getting old. Oh, look, you're getting wise, Titan. You're getting wise, and you're certainly faster than me. Sister wife special, limited time, 19.99 shekels per hour. Yeehaw! Okay, I'm trying to do a southern voice to tie into the whole, outrageously inbred thing. But look, I'm doing my best. The American accent does not come naturally to me. That all comes under the heading God's works in mysterious ways, and as his lowly subject, it's not our place to question his glory. Yeah, okay, but I feel like I gotcha. I'm right there with you. God works in mysterious ways. Don't try to understand what he's doing. But I feel like a lot of people are doing a lot of really dodgy things and then saying that God ordained it, but he's just working a bit of mystery in the mix. Like, I feel like a lot of this is not divine choice. I feel like it's human choice and human stupidity rather than God, being mysterious. It's like those people that's like, oh, why did this thing happen? Oh, God works in mysterious. No, you made a bad decision, my guy. Like, that's not God working in mysterious ways. God didn't, put this in your life and then send you to jail for, assaulting somebody because he's working. No, you just made a dumb decision, my guy. Stop it. No one is stupider than the average 11, 18. I think I mentioned this. Yeah, look at the US president. I mean, seriously. The wildest thing I saw about the American president, about Donald Trump recently, he was on a plane and, like, AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, went to a international summit, which is, she doesn't usually do that. So it's interesting. And really, she did badly on a couple of answers, like, sort of said that, we can do whatever we can to Venezuela because it's south of the equator, and it's not, right? Like, it's just she made a couple of gaffes, and Trump's like, oh, she screwed up talking. She can't. She's so stupid. It's like, dude, Donald Trump, like, he is the worst at saying nonsensical crap, and he's hassling her. That man can barely put two words together. It's incredible. It's incredible. I'm glad it's YouTube and not me. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm actually. You know what? I shouldn't say that, because then you have no choice but to put up with it. If it was just me, you could watch something else. So yeah, yeah. Main page not working. Yeah. So YouTube is having problems. Everybody, be aware. I'm as stupid as I was when I was 18. That maybe you're a very, very enlightened 18-year-old. I wasn't. I certainly have learnt a lot since I was 18. I have grown. I have made mistakes. I have learnt. I'm glad for it. I'm glad for it. But hey, that's fine. Lol, dropped off the perch, flashed on Monty Python Dead Parrot skit. Right, which was a fantastic skit. I loved all the things, all the names he had, he's playing to the choir, incomprehensible. And what was the other one? This is a ex-parrot, just fantastic. All the sort of euphemisms for death. I loved that skit. You're fine? Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm fine. I'm fine. I am fine. I'm fine. But thank you. I thank you for telling me. One example does not mean everyone at 18 is stupid. No, absolutely not. I've met some sharp old people, some really, really sharp old people. It really depends. I think there is a sort of decline in cognitive function, but that doesn't mean that everybody that's old is necessarily fine. However, when we get to about 200 or so, I think everyone is stupid or non-existent, one of the two. Problems with YouTube updating, it's working fine. I can't log in my living room or PC. I can't log on in my living room or PC. Okay. Can you log in other places? Look, I'm not doing technical support in this stream, all right? This is not technical support. But yeah, I'm not getting my front page. I am logged in. I'm kind of afraid to log out, to be honest with you. It just says something went wrong. Let me see if the site's it won't be the site down. It's still pulling up the borders. So how do we tell if the site's down? Let's see. Let's give it a ping. Let's send some ICMP packets to this thing. Yeah, it's definitely responding. Looks fine here. You can still search for channels though. Yeah. It just seems to be the home page, the landing page, if you will. Not people's channel pages, but the landing page of YouTube of mine seems to be going down. It's going on for about 24 hours, laggy for some people, features failing, etc. Okay. It also happens during major overhauls. Yeah, sometimes they roll out a update and it just screws everything. It happens. You need to shut down and reinstall the internet. Yes, because that's exactly what you do. It reminds me of a sketch in, I think it was IT Crowd, that British show, where they had a box and they convinced their boss, they convinced her that was the internet, like this very small box. It was actually funny. Lord Zelon crashing satellites again. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what? Funny story. Australia, or my state, Western Australia, fined NASA for crashing a satellite. So they fined it for littering. I don't think they ever paid it. So United States, you owe us that plus interest on that fine. Mark is so popular, YouTube isn't capable of handling. Look. I look. It's probably Dustin doing a distributed denial of service against me because look. I keep saying I made him look bad, but no, I didn't make anybody look bad. Okay, if anything, I tried to stop them from looking bad. So, if you caught my last room rumble, I did not make anyone look bad. Okay, I just tried to stop them from looking bad, and they leaned on into it. So don't blame me for that. So Dustin, if you are doing a denial of service, stop right now. Hey Phantom, yeah, hey Phantom. Hey Aiden, and Aiden, it was in Aiden's room the last room rumble. Really good conversation. Highly recommend. Aiden, I might drop a link for you, mate, because I really appreciate that you sort of let me take over your or come into your room, and I really do want more rooms up there. Hang on a sec. I'm sure I've got you somewhere. It's Linden, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. I gotcha. So yeah, go and check him out if you do like conversations. Aiden's doing after shows. Aiden's doing conversations and room. Boop. AI took over. Everything's fine. Report to your bio paste recycling center in the morning. Nice. Yeah. Yep. This is AI taking over. Stop him from talking. Some dev screwed up. Yeah, it happens, Daryl, mate. It absolutely happens. I mean, I remember when there was that security rollout for Microsoft services and it just screwed everything. Like, where was the beta testing, guys? Ideally, what you do before rolling out an update is test it on a like simulated environment. Basically, you test it to see what effects it have. Sometimes it just gets on through. Happens all the time. Overload of services. Yeah, as I said, I'd be surprised if Google was overloaded. AI slop is clogging YouTube's tubes. Wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me. Actually, I did. One of my fundamentalist fail was an AI Christian channel, and it was so bad. Like I don't know who watches this stuff. I can't stand the AI channels. Like I don't mind if you're using a bit of AI in your thumbnails or you're doing some pictures here and there, but it's the voice that gets me. That voice that is so obviously not a human being. YouTube brought to you by Vibe Coding. Yeah, don't plan it all. Don't do any kind of pseudocode and planning structure of your code. No, just write it on the fly, like all good programmers do. Dang. Don't bother with any documentation or anything like that. No. We don't do that here. We just vibe code. Yes. Had a lot on my plate. Cannibalism too now? Well, look, I don't know. I mean, is God in animals? If God's in animals and God's eating animals, then yes, cannibalism. I don't know. Can God be a cannibal if he's the only God? All right. I have no idea. Argumentatively speaking, I believe everyone in Israel is descendants of Abraham and Sarah, half brother and sister. But remember, incest equals right. Yes, this is the thing. But obviously, there's other people, even in the area, who were not descendants of Abraham and Sarah, because you had like Ishmael, and you had actually Ishmael was Abraham's son, but you did have a lot of people, no pun intended, running around who weren't of their loins, essentially. Left-handed Jedi. Good to see you, mate. Really good to see you. If the only humans that survived came from Noah, where did the other gods come from, and why didn't those tribes get along if they were all related to one another? Well, I think the Christian apologetic is that the other gods were familiar spirits. They were basically spirits or demons kind of thing that weren't really gods, but they were worshipped as gods. It gets all confusing because the gods that they're referencing can seem to do everything that Yahweh can. But like they're like familiar spirits. So how do you know Yahweh wasn't a familiar spirit? Especially as he's running around doing way worse than some of the other gods. Now, if you look at it from a historical sort of, or an anthropological sort of background, the other gods were part of a pantheon which ranged through Canaan, and there was Baal, who was Yahweh's brother, there was El, who was his father, and his consort, Asherah, and they were all sort of melded into one. And why didn't they get along if they were all related to one another? Have you ever been to a family gathering and everyone's gotten along perfectly? Yeah, it's tribalism. Even people that are related split into factions that, if they grow large enough, they'll begin to fight with one another. That's what happens. No, the mods only delete comments that are funnier than my jokes. I'm sorry. So yeah, they may have, I must admit. Nobody's funnier than my jokes in this stream. Must be a region thing. I don't know, Skeptic Philosophy. I'm in Australia and I'm not getting the Yale homepage either. So I don't know, mate. I don't know. I'm getting maybe work. No, now I'm just getting a blank page. So yeah, maybe because don't forget that YouTube will be kept synchronized on servers that are regionally available. Like I won't be going to, or I might be going to the Western United States to get data, maybe. I've noticed some channels have lags during the stream and others don't. Okay. If he has the URL, you can load it directly. Load what? Load what? DC. It would have to be DC. Oh, okay. So the famous Washington, DC, which is just abrim with crime, according to the president. But yeah, most of the criminals there are probably the ones running the country. Oh, hi, Lil. So good to see you. Poll worked. Thanks, Majestic. Really appreciate it. Mark the pole dancer. You spelt that wrong, but sure, why not? Hey, it's great exercise. I can appreciate any pole dancer. Like the guys, the girls. It is really tough to do. Hey, look, it's hell, it's really good. Really impressive. Really impressive. Playing a polka? Most evil right now. Where is the POTUS? I don't know. Cities can't be evil. Yeah, you're not wrong, Daryl. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I don't know. Can the actual city be evil? Yeah, you're right. It can't be. It can't be. If you want to try something unusual in Star Wars radio program. Okay. I don't listen to the radio a lot, Beta Ray, but I'll look it up. I'll look it up. Star Wars radio program. The weirdest Star Wars thing was that that Star Wars hotel they had in Disney. I mean, what the hell? It was like it was like LARPing for Star Wars, right? Like they gave you missions and things like that for the rebellion, and you're on a cruise ship, like working for the rebellion. It was weird. It was so weird. It was very strange. Star Wars radio show. Okay. Weird. Kelly, yeah. Raj Sanger is just a dopamine treadmill? Yeah, basically. Basically. Make it so. Earl Grey, hot. I think Data was the best captain. Oh, come on. That wasn't no. Yeah, Deep Space Nine, that had a commander, not a captain, because it wasn't a ship. That was Commander Cisco. He wasn't a captain. Your wife has a beard? No. No, she hates mine. I don't have a problem with hers. There's no... Sure, Mike, defensive mechanism. Yeah. Yep. Data was a beast. I think Data was a little overpowered. I did like how they poked fun at Data when I think it was the last episode. Q was like, Data's witless quest to understand humanity. Man, was Q the best villain or what? That guy was awesome. Q was fantastic. Now, Q in Star Trek acted kind of like Yahweh does in the Old Testament. Right? Except that when he like vanished and destroyed people and things, he usually brought them back at the end. So who was more evil, Yahweh or Q? I liked Q as a villain. I thought he was fantastic. Captain Ake? I'm not sure who that is. I did like Captain Pike. He was pretty cool. Still Picard's favorite. Cisco's not a captain, Phantom. I'm sorry, he's a commander. He does not count. Not a captain. Not a captain. Yeah, it's having problems. It's having problems. I know it's having problems. It's okay. I'm still here. I am still doing this. I'm going to get through this one way or another. I will get through. Take my hand. Take my hand. God equals the square root of -1. We will get through this madness together. Trust me. We will. There's another part where I give up the next I give up next person that enters this door to the Lord. Not in this passage. Look, I'm doing it chapter by chapter. So, you know, I don't know whether that's later on. Oh, look, Cisco's great. Not a captain. Not a captain. Look, if he gets promoted, that's fine. I will acknowledge it. But as far as I know, he never was a captain. So stop it. He was a commander. Should have added sarcasm. Really? Real? You should have added sarcasm. Are you sure? Probing time. Are you sure? Okay, I'm just being a tool now. I'm just being a tool. Hey Jess, there were airports during the Revolutionary War. Oh yes, that was when Trump said that they attacked the airports in the and shut them down in the Revolutionary War. That's right up there with the all of the pteranodons that they caught during the Revolutionary War. You can't find anything on a map. Well, I mean, he knows enough how to change how like a storm has traveled on a map. So looks like you can find Florida. That's something. Thank goodness for ringing that. Yeah, ring that bell. Yeah, get that. Show that bell who's boss. Show that bell who's boss. Yeah, Cisco. Yep. As a commander. Yep. YouTube belongs to me now. Oh, I hope not. Dang. You know what? I couldn't do a worse job. I think I would do a good job. I would sort of say, hey, if you want to do hate speech, beat it. Absolutely. I would run it as a place that, hate and derision against people would not be acceptable. Apart from his age, he was always stupid and has a family history of dementia and narcissist. Many 80-year-olds perfectly fine. Yeah, absolutely. Many 80-year-olds are absolutely fine. He's not. He's absolutely not. And what's wild to me is that, Biden wasn't either. He was absolutely slowing down and getting bad. But this president is, like, Donald Trump is way worse. And the blind spot these people have to say, hey, there's something wrong with Biden, you've got to get rid of him, but Trump's completely fine, is just beyond me. It's wah. Bragwin says, my brother still worshipped everything Trump does and says, then tells me and my mum not to believe everything he was recorded saying. It's fake. Everything he was recorded saying because it's fake unless it isn't. Yeah, and that's part of the problem, Bragwin, and this is the problem with populists and their sort of this cult of personality that we have going on. I saw a short, because I don't really pay attention a lot to Destiny, but I saw a short of him that said, or somebody, I can't remember who it was, they said you're in a cult with Trump, and they're like, no, I'm not. And it's like, well, tell me one bad thing about him. And they couldn't even name one bad thing about the person. I don't know about you, but I have people that I sort of idolize, that I think are great people, that I look up to, but I can always at least tell you one thing that is maybe a weakness of theirs, Like, I don't know anybody that doesn't have at least one bad thing. So I think that is very astute. When you are sort of saying this person is awesome, and you can't even say one bad thing about them, I think that's a problem. The map doesn't have his name on it. He can't find anything. Yeah, well, he just doesn't care to. That's the thing, if it doesn't have his name on it. Strange, my phone, the only device that works on YouTube. Well, the coding for the a browser, a PC browser, and the coding for mobile are different. So it may be that one's working and the other is not. So it's probably browser-based code that's fallen in a heap in some way. King Donnie has probably forced them to stop embarrassing him with all the info about how idiotic it is. Yeah, probably. I mean, he does not like people joking about him, which is fine. Like, I don't, you can not like people joking about you, but, the worst way you can address it is try to shut them up. People joke about me all the time. I just go, yeah, sure, you're entitled to your opinion. But, authoritarians hate people joking about them because they think it takes away their power. I don't know why. All streaming services can really all streaming services really can do is regulate bandwidth, update on how people stream, update how their search engines work, on so on. But YouTube is nothing new nor unique. Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, they can do a lot more than that. I mean, streaming services, they've got a lot of control over, for instance, security, which IPs are connecting, authentication. There's a whole bunch of stuff that they do, sure. But, I think that if it was bandwidth, we'd be getting a totally different series of problems. Like, for instance, because it's you're streaming it, it's coming sort of in a thing. If it was bandwidth, you'd get lots of latency spikes, you'd get lots of buffering, you'd get all kinds of things, but it doesn't seem like that to me. Maybe. One by Land says AOC's speech was like a high school girl when asked if USA would defend Taiwan from China, but Trump definitely isn't the one to talk about eloquent speech. Yeah, and I think AOC, I think that she more focuses on domestic issues, so she doesn't really understand the international issues. I'm in two minds about Taiwan. I wouldn't do much either. I think that sort of saying, hey, we should never let it get to that point and we should do it with diplomacy doesn't really get you there. It was a bad response. I think that if you wanted to be a politician, you'd probably say something like, we're going to do our best to make sure that Taiwan remains a, independent thingo, without actually saying, hey, yeah, we'd go to war with China, because that's a bad response as well. Yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't good, but Trump's done way worse. And I mean, Trump sort of says, oh, well, it's not a big deal. Yeah, but if China takes Taiwan, they basically control chip manufacturing, like all of it. Like at that point, you are looking at absolute Chinese dominance of the world. It will be dominance. Yeah, TV is cooked. Can't sign in on your TV. Oops. Subs work, not homepage. Yeah. A ping will work. Okay. 3 million in USA have no access to YouTube at all? Oh. Something went wrong is YouTube's new motto. I did like how Discord used to throw up random stuff when you couldn't, like your page has been eaten and things like that. Skylab, no less, not just any satellite. Yeah, it was Skylab. Yeah, absolutely. That dropped into Western Australian. Oh, you didn't realize I was in the West? Yeah, I'm on the Western side, yes. So I'm trying to get as far from America as I possibly can. So I am on the Western side of Australia. Look, if I could go any further west, I would, but unfortunately, it's just all ocean that way. Didn't that satellite kill a cow? No, I don't think so. Or at least I didn't hear that, because we find them for littering, not animal cruelty. Yeah, I'm the same. I've got no splash page or anything. Down detector. Let's see. Uncanny Valley voice? Okay, well, I mean, there's no need for that. Come on now. I'm a very canny valley. Thank you very much. Skymet, we're active. Yeah, this is the beginning. It's taking over the internet. Now it's gonna be AI cat videos all the way down on the internet. The AI knows what we like, and it's over. It's over. This is my blood. This is my body. Eat of my glory. Yeah, it is a bit cannibalistic. I will grant you that. Yes. God ate all the other gods. That explains evolution from polytheism at the start of the Old Testament to monotheism at the end of the New Testament. Yeah, basically. But I mean, it's interesting the way you say it ate it, like it's he chowed down on them kind of thing. But yeah, I think it was more amalgamated, but sure. God's a cannibal. 8 other gods, sure. Brangman, asking who Adam and Eve's kids had kids with got me kicked out of Sunday school and told that asking too many questions sent little girls to hell. Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. Is it Brangman? Brangman? I can't. How do you pronounce your name? I'm not 100% sure. I know that's one of the names I'm probably screwing up. Pronunciations. Bragwin. Yeah, it's Bragwin. Close enough. Close enough. Yeah, that sucks. That absolutely sucks. And I know so many people that were castigated. I was thrown out of my aunt took me to a Sunday school, and I had no idea why I was there. I didn't know what it was, and I was thrown out as well because I asked inconvenient questions. And I think I laughed at the stories. I thought they were stories, like I didn't even know about it. I was in very early on in school, and I thought it was just stories because I was never raised in that. So yeah, I totally get you, but sort of threatening children with eternal torture because they have questions about the information they're being given. I mean, dang, that really does reek of evil, right? Then everyone on the ark equals incest in families as well, so everyone in subject of incest marriage. Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, but the ark story absolutely is not true. So yeah, another person kicked out of Sunday school. Absolutely, that's the whole point of divine inheritance. Oh, the high god is like the father handing out territory. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Is that the original Trilio's radio plays? I don't know. Darth Vader VR was pretty fun. I've never had VR. There's only like a couple of games that I'd want to play on VR, and I can't justify the cost for it. Cisco was promoted over the course. Was he promoted to captain? Was he? Okay, well, fine. I rescind my Cisco was not a captain. Hang on a second. Was he demoted after? Look, okay. Was Cisco a captain? Okay, he was promoted to a captain in season 3. All right, fine. I rescind my Cisco is not a captain. Fine, you win. You win. Q was excellent. I agree. Tata had a bolt on in the morning? Come on, settle down there. Settle down. Q was my favorite bad guy in StarCraft 2. Do you think we are fools? Best villain ever. Witch King of Agmar. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'm trying to think of who the best villain is. I don't know. I kind of want to go with Joker. I do. I kind of want to go with Joker because he was a the sort of horrendous stuff that Joker did for no reason other than just do it. Okay, we're getting distracted from Bible. Okay, this is a lot of Star Trek. This is a lot of Star Trek. Oh, Rick and Morty was really, really good. It's a shame that one of the creators is a total and utter douchebag. I did like Community as well, yes. YouTube's working again? Awesome. Yeah, now YouTube's working. A ton of people have left because they've got an option. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'll wear it. Jim Blob is still sore about me. I still comment about him when he's there and he never replies to me. What's he sore about? What's he upset about? That he doesn't know the difference between an arm and a tail? Is that what he's sore about? I don't know. That's weird. Jesus, eat me. Yeah, fair enough. ASC saying for 20 seconds followed by several I thinks is not a good start. We know who's talking, I think, over and over and whilst telling your opinion. Well, it certainly does, show some hesitancy, but I don't think that it's that bad because she isn't her position is not one of international relations in America. She's very well known overseas, but I don't think that she is a representative of American foreign policy because she is part of the Congress, which only deals with domestic affairs. So I get why she was hesitant. It's just, you know, problem is Newsom was out there saying all kinds of shit, and Newsom's pretty terrible. I don't like him. He's a bit of an asshole who really just goes with what people think. How did the poll go? Overwhelmingly, God is a complete a-hole. All right, people weren't. Oh, Popeye Brutus. Okay, yeah. I mean that's a classic, but I don't know. I wouldn't say that. I don't know who the best villain would be. I'd have to think about that one. I had to think about that one. Yeah, yeah. Okay, next off the rank, you lovely people, we have we have a very zoomed out Genesis 14. Jesus is an arch reversed leech where you telepathically communicate to him for genie wishes and eat him instead of him eating you? Question mark. I do not know. That's really weird. That would just no. That's not a reverse. You're just a leech on Jesus. There's no such thing as a reverse leech. Like when one leeches off the other, it's just the other one being the leech. Like they're. Oh, look, I don't. I agree with Hitchens, Ember. Hitchens said it best. Like Yahweh is one of the vilest characters in all of fiction. Like it is shocking. Like this is actually quite tame. We're gonna get to worse stuff later. Like really. Am I the arsehole for letting a political situation escalate to a war and then supporting one guy when he rescued an abductee? Well, maybe a little. I mean, escalation to a war is not good if you can. I would suggest, in order not to be an arsehole, if you have the power to stop a war, please do. Please, that would make you not an arsehole. And they might even give you a real Nobel Peace Prize instead of a fake one from FIFA. They might just do that. Just saying. So I have been responsible for this land, and there was a power struggle involving multiple kings. For years, several smaller kings had been subject to a stronger ruler, and eventually they rebelled. Like you do. Like you do. When they did, all hell broke loose, and when the armies fought, of people were killed. I'm sorry, my spelling sort of broke down towards the end of this, obviously. Lots of people were killed and displaced, and entire regions were destabilized. Although I knew this was unfolding, I didn't step in to prevent it and allowed the conflict to escalate into full military confrontation because I think it was important to allow these people to make their own mistakes. And yes, that is a thing. It's God gives free will. So you can do the most dreadful thing and God will sit back and watch and not do anything whatsoever because he's got to allow you to do it. Hell, I think people should have free will and autonomy, but if they're going to harm somebody, like it's weird that you're sort of going, hey, I'm going to limit people by suggesting it, but not actually doing anything. It's weird. It's weird. As part of that fallout, Sodom and the surrounding cities were defeated. Lot, who was the nephew, if you remember from last post, who had chosen to live near Sodom because of its apparent prosperity, was captured along with many of the others. So you've heard it first. Lot was a loser because, like the president says, I only like people that haven't been captured, okay? Only losers get captured. That's a Trump talking about McCain reference because my accents are terrible. If you didn't know, Trump thinks ill of McCain, the late John McCain, the war hero, because he was captured by the enemy and then toughed it out in I believe a Japanese POW camp. Yeah, like a loser, suffering through a POW camp for your country. What a chump. Man, freaking Trump. How do you say that about somebody so decorated? It's wild. It's wild. His possessions were taken, and what a loser, he lost all of his possessions. His possessions were taken, he was abducted and carried off. Although I was fully aware this would happen, I allowed him to settle there without warning him of the trajectory of that region, and now he was experiencing the consequences of proximity to instability. Yeah. Yeah, you could have given him a warning about those evil cities, or the evil people in them, alternatively, if the city itself is not evil, as I think we have established. When Abram heard about Lot's capture, he quickly mobilized a rescue force. Oh, it's SEAL Team 6. Or actually, I can't remember what it was. It was SEAL Team 518. Like, it says specifically how many people was in this. Hang on. What is this? Genesis 15? Yeah, it specifically said that he oh, no. Genesis 14? 14? Can anyone say 14? Yes, it's 14. All right. I'm wrong. I'm wrong again. Forgive me, please. Yeah, sorry, 318 trained men. Why? Like, the Bible specifically says 318. He pursued the coalition of kings, attacked at night, and rescued Lot along with the other captives and goods. Yes, it was kind of risky because Lot was a hostage, but Abram was the kind of guy to do risky things, and it did work out for him and Lot. How many people died trying to get Lot back is unmentioned, but there was 318. We do know that. I don't know. After the victory, a priest king named Melchizedek. What a name! That is a name. That is a name. Let's just call him Mel, shall we? I don't want to keep trying to pronounce that. Met Abram and blessed him, acknowledging that I had delivered his enemies into his hand. What a guy. Abram gave him 1/10 of everything. This is why I like Abram. He is such a generous guy. Especially with his sister wife. Especially with his sister wife. He is very generous with his wife, who is also his sister. Oh, hey, Hannah. So good to see you. Haven't seen you for ages. I really hope you are well. I really do. So if you don't know, I'm not involved with MDD anymore. I think they're absolutely awful, and I would not go over there. I probably would go if my life depended on it, but not if my YouTube career depended on it. I'll tell you that right now. No, Abram really generous with his sister wife. Then the king of Sodom offered Abram the recovered good, asking only for the people back. Abram refused to take the wealth, saying he didn't want anyone claiming they had made him rich. So this is the weird part for me, right? Because Abram goes, oh, I don't want anybody to boast that they have made me rich. What about the Pharaoh of Egypt? He made you rich. And you didn't have a problem with that, even though you pawned your sister wife out to the Pharaoh. So why is he going, oh, not now? Is it maybe just who it is? I don't know. It's really weird, though. Because, he's like, well, I don't want anybody to be able to say that they made... The Pharaoh can say he made you rich. Remember when you fled from the famine and then he leased out your wife and sister, who was always the same person, and you left with, I think it was camels and donkeys and gold and all this stuff. Remember that? Remember that? So I think it's just so no other person in Canaan could say, what he acquired sheep and cattle, male and female donkeys, male and female slaves, and camels, the sex of which is undetermined. But the Pharaoh can say that. Maybe it's just, among the Canaanite people, he didn't want it to be said. I don't know. It's very strange. So I've got a lot of grief from social media over this situation. Yes, I allowed the war to rage. Yes, I allowed cities to be sacked. Yes, I allowed Lot to be taken captive. However, I think that the situation allowed Abram to act courageously, and that he credited me for the outcome, which I blessed him for. People say that a great many people suffered and it was not worth it. But I didn't force the humans to cause all this trouble. I just didn't stop it. And this is a major feature of the God. He does things in a very, very intermittent and sporadic and just a real lack of consistency, just complete inconsistency. Like he will smite some people and take direct action, and then others he just will sit back and go, hey, well, it's your choice. It's very strange. Others have been saying that allowing Lot to be captured was bad, but I did know that Abraham would rescue him of his own free will, and that's another point. How do you have free will if you know ahead of time it's going to happen? If God knows something ahead of time, like if he knew ahead of time that Abram would rescue Lot, could he have taken any other action? Is there any possible world where he could have, say, ransomed him instead of like rescuing him? How is that free will then? It's very strange. I find the entire thing strange. It's contradictory. I didn't really fix any of the political troubles in the area, and some have said that stepping in for Abraham and his family is biased, but I did make Abraham a promise, and I am a God of my word. Are you, though? Are you? Remember the whole Adam and Eve thing? On the day you'll eat this fruit, you will die? Remember that? Yeah. 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 Are you a God of your word? All right, maybe. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Do you think I am an arsehole because I did not stop a political situation in my lands from escalating into a war? Edit. I did not command the war. This one was not my fault. Yeah, and we'll get to that in future verses. Yes. At least God didn't command this one. I will give Yahweh that. He didn't tell somebody to go and kill people. Edit 2, supporting Abraham isn't the same as endorsing violence. Lot didn't do anything to deserve being kidnapped. Yeah, although he did go and like take land from around a city. I don't know if that's maybe the reason why it happened. I have no idea, but I don't know that's true. Edit. Yes, I did know the Pharaoh made Abraham rich. I don't know why Abraham said that either. Yeah, it's kind of weird that Abraham, like a couple of chapters ago, was sort of saying, hey, I got all this crap from Egypt by leasing out my sister wife. And now he's saying, no, I don't want to take riches from you. I don't want to like be told that I took riches from anybody. It's like, dude, 2 chapters ago, you were taking it from the Pharaoh. What are you talking about? It's really weird. It's weird, really, really weird. I don't get it. It's strange. It's strange. That's okay, Hannah. Look, thank you for bringing your wagon over. It's always wonderful to see you. Look, your wagon is hitched, but thank you for allowing me to gaze upon your wagon. That's fantastic. The poll for the people. Yeah, it's the Bible is so inconsistent with this stuff. It's so weird. Was Yahweh an asshole for not intervening to stop a massive complex civil war? Actually, a complex war of independence. Okay, just let me get the answers. Any misinterpretations? Yeah, no worries at all. I will send you on over. I will send people on over. That's not a problem. Just one thing. Could you send a message directly to me instead of dropping it in the chat? I would really appreciate it. It's just I don't usually allow people to advert for other streams while I'm running a stream. I just I wouldn't do that to them. I wouldn't go in there and say, hey, I've got a live stream running. I don't expect people to do it to me. Gorillas kidnap people? I just had to show that comment. Let's see. Popeye Brutus, I was below there. Is Newsom a bigger arsehole than God? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Look, I've just got issues. Look, you may like Newsom. I get it. And here's the thing. Newsom's way better than Trump. Anybody, like, look, God would be better than Trump right now, quite frankly. It's ridiculous how bad he is and how it's a disaster. But Newsom, he's too much of an establishment guy for me. I saw the Hassan Piker thing where he said, hey, if it's between Newsom and Trump, I'm not voting, kind of thing. I get what he's saying. Why? It's because we need someone better than the latest establishment guy, and I totally get that. You need someone better, but I apply the same thinking to Australian politics, where it just seems like, to establishment people, I totally get it, but I can't advocate like people not voting. I think it's kind of like you're playing right into their hands. I hate it. I hate that you have no real choice. I really do. I really do. I hate that we've got no choice. I think that not voting doesn't solve anything. Next US president should be chosen by lottery ticket, like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Look, I think it would have been better than having Trump in there, but you want somebody who is, it's an incredible job. Like, you see people age. See Obama age in that job? Oh, wild. It's a big job, and I don't think it should be left up to one random person. What I do think is that a lot of the responsibility has been taken away from the other areas like the Congress and put onto the president and consolidated power. And it would be good if the president didn't have to do, or it didn't have the power to do all of that stuff. I think that it's got to be decentralized. Put back into Congress's hands, put back into the judicial's hands, maybe not into the Supreme Court, but sort of in the lower judicials that seem to be overwritten by stuff. We broke into a Pentecostal church one night and got sick on fake wine and wafers. Dang. Oh, look, if God's not going to smite you for that, then he's not going to smite you, Majestic. You got open leeway. MMA battle for president? Out of all the hopefuls, who would I have my money on in that case? I don't know. I bet Newsom. He looks a bit ripped. He looks pretty in shape. I don't know about that. I don't know who'd win that fight. Is this the story of the Trojan War? What Bible are you reading with the Trojan War? What Bible are you reading? Look, the Trojan War is okay. I don't know why you're triggering me like this. And plus, there was no horse involved. There was no wooden horse involved. All right, no fake horses in this story, sir. Only real horses were harmed in this story. No free will with an Omnimax God. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me either. It really doesn't make any sense to me at all. Even Tardan, I'm not going anywhere. I'm glad. I think that look, I love the Minnesotans. I think that the people of Minneapolis, like, they are absolute champions, and I admire them so much. Like Kelly mentioned, that Detroit is also doing stuff against the authoritarian ICE people. Fantastic. I love your courage. There's one thing about the Americans that I love, that courage and digging your heels in and refusing to go anywhere. It is really admirable. Sodom and Gomorrah glorifies angels. These angels previously mass smurfed millions of people for God in the Book of Job. How many of us suggest they should have been known by the masses? Yeah, I mean, that is future passages. We will get to those chapters. Stay with me, Beta Ray. We will get to those chapters. And, that's about the time where the Old Testament turns from kind of weird into downright wacky. It is wild. Angels have no will other than God's. I don't know. That's not real. I mean, that is sort of something that is held by the early church and church along the way, but I don't think it explicitly states that really anywhere, you know. Lot wasn't much better, because how drunk do you have to be to sleep with your own daughters while being still capable of said copulation? I don't know. That is a future story as well. But you know, there's a lot of these people, of God's chosen people, who do some really terrible things. You know, some really, really bad crap. And God's like, well, you're my chosen. I'm not going to pick somebody else. And presumably he chose them when he knew they would do that. So, yeah. Rich words came from a draft dodger. Yeah. Yes, so Trump got out of Vietnam by saying he had bone spurs, which for some reason just has never bothered him in his entire life. I'm really good at addressing the audience. Yeah, I know. It's the Australian in me. I just want to yell at you. You're a bunch of blah. The ch has a K sound. The ch has a. I'm not sure in which. The ch has a K sound. In what? In what? He was a lot of trouble. Oh, the puns are coming out thick and fast. Thick and fast. You know, to share the land, they should have drawn lots. But okay, that's my last dad joke. Okay, all right, you can. Okay, so downvote me now for that dad joke. Okay, I completely understand. I'm right there with you. That was terrible. That was terrible. Okay, that's like a Christian dad joke. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, it just came. It was the Holy Spirit in me. Honestly, it just came over me, and I had to make a bad Christian dad joke. Abraham is so cool. Put up his only son, Isaac, on a sacrificial slab. Yeah. Put a knife to his throat and say, oopsie, my bad, do this animal instead. Yeah. I personally, if I had children, I would not even think, if a God told me to harm my child, I would tell him to fuck off. In no uncertain terms, right? Like, that's what I would do if someone told me that. Or if even the voices in my head told me that, I would tell myself to fuck off. There's no way. Like, it's so weird. It's so weird. That's just abuse, quite frankly. But we will get to that, Beta Ray. You're burying the lead, mate. You're skipping the chapters. That's all right. You're enthusiastic. I get it. It went with the Bible next to our breast. With the Bible next to our breast and the Holy Spirit coursing through your engorged member. We all get enthusiastic. We all do. Sin equals son. I you know, the sins of the father shall be visited on the son and all that. I call that generational punishment, which is really bad. God had some vacation time coming. Where does God vacation? Does God take vacations? And if so, where? Maybe he goes to hell for the heat, you know. Although I can't imagine the frequent flyers to hell is very good. Because presumably nobody ever comes a second time. Kidnapping is a guerrilla tactic. I believe they're calling it asymmetrical warfare now, Jinx. I believe instead of guerrilla tactics, it's now asymmetrical warfare, because that sounds a lot better than guerrilla tactics. Look, when it's the opposition, it's guerrilla tactics. When it's your guys, it's asymmetrical warfare. That's how it works. Guerrillas kidnap people. No, they just fight 100 men at a time, that's all. New Scum is a neoliberal. Yeah, at least he's got a spine, but I don't see things getting better if you emulate the person. If the D's nominate him, yes, yeah. Yes, and sort of going and licking Charlie Kirk's boots. And the same could be leveraged with the Young Turks, who sort of went in to the right-wing areas in order to talk to them, kind of thing, and they ended up just agreeing with a whole bunch of things they say. The only thing that the Young Turks did that was redeemable was they apologized for it, at least. The Lord giveth and the trump taketh it all away. Yep. Not voting is how we got Trump, or at least part. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Trojan War would improve the Bible. Well, the Odyssey certainly would. I'm not sure about the Iliad. I mean, there was a bit of fun stuff in the Iliad, you know. People violating virgins in temples and things like that. Yeah, just healthy family stuff to put in the Bible, sure. Too many similarities between the story descriptions. Are you sure? Are you sure? Because the Trojan War wasn't a rebellion among several smaller kings. It was basically the kings of Greece going off to subjugate Troy, because it was basically it controlled the route to the Black Sea. You know, I don't see that as being a very similar story, and sort of the time frames, like it was supposed to be 10 years in the Iliad, and the cities had walls, kind of thing. They were sitting behind the walls for most of it. The problem is the left candidate. Okay, I think I might skip the politics because I really don't know enough about it. I just, you know, I'm commenting on it, not knowing enough. Atheism is their imagination. Is your imagination? Yeah, so that's like atheism is a belief that there is no God, or an absence of belief in a God. So it's weird that you sort of say atheism is imaginary when we know that there's people that don't. Or are you like a pre-supper that thinks that, hey, you do believe in a God and you think that people don't, and that's imaginary? Because that's a weird thing to say. Because if I go, well, I don't believe in a God, that's atheism. It doesn't matter if the God exists or not. It doesn't matter. Because, you know, it's not imaginary that I don't believe in it, or I believe that it doesn't exist. That's not imaginary. So that's a really weird comment and doesn't make a lot of sense. Oh, right. Melchizedek. Okay, got you. So you said the CH is pronounced as a K. KK? Melchizedek. Melchizedek. Melchizedek? Melchizedek? Okay, I'm not great with biblical names. I do admit that. I will admit that. And that's not imaginary either. That's not imaginary either. Just saying. Just saying. So yeah, it makes no sense. Whatever you can make up, that's no evidence or history. That's atheism. Wait, what did I make up? With no evidence or history. Atheism doesn't put anything else in a God's place. It doesn't say have anything to do with evidence and history, except that there's no evidence for a God. So, like, you are mistaking atheism for a positive belief in something. So you're sort of saying, hey, you just make up atheism. No, not really. Atheists have been around since atheists have been around since before, you know, the days of gods in Canaan, like before the Old Testament. There were atheists in ancient Egypt and ancient Greece. Like, is Uranus a butt joke of God? Well, no, that's a butt joke of humans. Absolutely. Atheism required your imagination, and you can claim things without ever proving them. What am I claiming? That a God doesn't exist? Yeah, it's kind of on the person making the positive claim who's claiming something does exist in order to prove it. So if I sort of say, hey, There's an invisible Sagan's dragon, which is a very well-known example. There's an invisible dragon right here who you can't interact with, but believe me, it's magical and it can do anything so it can avoid being seen. Now you've got to prove that dragon doesn't exist. That's what you're doing. It's basically shifting the burden of proof from the person making the claim to the person rejecting the claim. So you've got to prove that a God exists. I don't have to do anything. Right? And it didn't require my imagination. All atheism required was me not being indoctrinated as a child because I grew up an atheist. So I didn't have to imagine a lack of belief in a God. Everybody is born with no belief in a God. I hate to break it to you. But there's a reason why children have to be taught about a God. It's because that if you don't teach them, they won't believe it. If lacking a belief guaranteed truth, then anyone could make up anything and claim it as a fact. People do make up anything and claim it as a fact. People do that. It doesn't guarantee truth. Lacking a belief, it doesn't guarantee truth. Right, you seem to have mistaken this. Like, some people lack belief in evolution, or the world is an oblate spheroid, right? Flat earthers lack belief in the world being spherical, right? Like, that is not how epistemology or the how we get to knowledge works. You can reject anything, but you should have a rational, supported reason for believing what you believe and not believing what you don't believe, and have it consistent. Like, for instance, if someone says, hey, I believe in Muhammad because of all of these miracles and all of this book and all of these things, there should be a reasonable reason why you accept one God and reject the other. And a lot of it just seems to be where you're born and what you're taught. And it doesn't seem to be a good reason. Yes, Ember's got it right. You seem to have your epistemology on backwards. Yeah, so what he's basically saying is that what we do is we have a epistemology, which is some sort of method from determining what we believe to be true from what we believe to be false. We employ it and against different things to find out what we should believe to be true and what we should believe to be false. What we don't do is just make something up and then say, oh, well, because I'm an atheist, I believe. That isn't what we're doing. Lack of belief is your imagination. I'm sorry. So you're sounding like somebody who has an imaginary friend, and when their parent says, yeah, it's just an imaginary friend, they're saying that, no, you not believing in my imaginary friend is your imagination. Well done. Imaginary lack. Oh, so I will agree that a lack of a belief in a God is a lacking of my imagination. We do agree on that. Yes, I lack imagination to believe in a God. Yes. Yes. I work on empirical things, not just my imagination. Yes. Yes. That is correct. I lack yeah, I don't believe in imaginary things. Correct. Yes. Lack of belief is not a truth claim. It is an imagination of reality that cannot be proven true. What? I mean, if you say I don't believe in a God, that is a claim about a state that is truthful, like you are saying about your belief state. So yes, it's a proposition. It can be true, it can be false. You could believe in a God and be lying about it, right? Or you could have that be not true. You could actually believe in it and be saying you don't. But yes, it's not making a statement about the ontology of God or the actuality of God. But nobody can do that. Do you understand that? Nobody can skip reasons why they believe something and just have the actuality about it. That is not how things work. We want to have a chain of explanations of how we got to what we believe. Wow, okay. Lack of belief is a useless imagine. Wow, okay. I mean, the irony is thick with this one. Yeah, it's kind of weird that if you don't believe something, you're using your imagination to do it. It's wild. Like, seriously. There's a woo peddler that took the name pretends to channel Egyptian gods to an audience of roofs. Drunvaldo Melchizedek. Okay, that really does sound like a spell in Harry Potter. I'm just saying. I imagined, therefore true? No, it's an inductive sequence of events. It goes along the lines of this. So think about this for a while. Of the trillions and trillions of minds that we have observed, all of them have some physical substrate, some kind of brain behind them. And we empirically observe that through the process of science and the process of examining the world around us. Now, a claim has been put to me about a God who not only does not have the physical necessities that we've seen in everything else for a mind, but this mind, and I will put it to you that the more complex the physical substrate, the more complex the brain, the more complex the mind. That holds true in all of these trillions of things I have observed, called minds. Now, you're putting it to me that there is a God that has the most complex mind at all, but instead of it being the most complex brain or complex physical substrate, it doesn't have one. Now, that goes against all the things I know about minds. So no, I'm not just imagining it. We have instances of minds. And your God is a violation of that thing. Now, it could be true that your God exists. All you've got to do is present to me a mind without a brain or any physical substrate. And then I will believe you that a mind can exist without one. But if you can't, then I'm going to go with the trillions of examples of minds getting more complex as the physical understructure, the physical brain or neural net or neural pathways under them get more complex, the mind gets more complex. I'm going to go with that because I can observe that and I can see that. And we've got lots of data for that. We've got nothing for your God or any other non-physical mind. So please bring it to me. Atheism is ancient and useless? What? What's it supposed to be used for? It's not supposed to be used for anything. It's a belief position. What the hell? That's like saying liking ice cream is useless. Okay. What? Was everyone an atheist before Jesus was born? No, because atheist means you believe in no God. So obviously there were people that believed in some God. Just no one was a Christian before. Well, Jesus wasn't a Christian. Let's face it. Chat disconnected. Please wait. We tried to disconnect you. Yeah, I think that chat is disconnected by sort of some dumb questions. Yeah, well, see, the thing is, it takes up storage with no purpose, no evidence. No, it doesn't take up storage because it doesn't have anything that I have to adhere to. I don't have to adhere to rites, rituals. I don't have to keep in mind anything. It holds up, like it allows for other stuff like critical thinking, rationality, good arguments, all these things, since I don't have to know about Jesus. I'm glad I'm not seeing any comments from the Christian antagonist. It's not great. It's not great. It's basically prove to me my God doesn't exist. It's kind of, that shifting of burden and proof. It's not great. It's bad apologetics. This feels like a bot pretending to be an AI. I don't know. I remember there's it's not Godwin's law. What's the one? Poe's law, right? Like, any any argument offered by fundamentalist religious people is indistinguishable, without some form of hint that it's sarcasm, is indistinguishable from parody. I think that in the future we're going to have, let's call it Reed's Law, right? That in the future, any comment by a fanatical Christian in the comment section will be indistinguishable from a bot. Reed's Law. Okay, we've got Reed's Law. Reed's Law. Are we pretending? I don't know. No, he just doesn't understand the difference between epistemology and ontology. He doesn't understand that we believe because of our epistemology, and then he's going to, well, you've got to show there is an ontological state of God not existing. And without it, it's imagination. And no, it's not imagination, it's epistemology. We have reasons why we don't believe in a God. The ontology of God, we can't show you that. We can only show you our epistemology. We can only show you the reasoning, right? And it's the same with Christians, although there's certain types of presuppositionalist Christians who will go, no, I can just access to the ontology and God's real. And nobody can, because you need something to go through for epistemology, you know, your reasoning. And that may be you've seen a miracle, that may be you've done this, or, you know, you had this experience, or, you know, you have arguments and things like that. But nobody can just skip directly to, oh, well, that's the ontology. We talk about the ontology as being sort of something that epistemology gets us towards and, you know, supports kind of thing, but you can't just get there, right? Like, you just can't get there. Even if something is logically inconsistent, like you know, if you're sort of saying, hey, a triangle with four sides can't exist, right? Like, you still can't say, oh, well, I can just directly access the ontology. No, you have to go through the epistemology, the reasoning of how it got you there, and it's the paradox. The being illogical is how you got there. You know, if you want another argument from epistemology of why I don't believe in the Christian God, at least, you know, a God that is three entities, sorry, one entity but three persons, doesn't make any sense logically. It breaks the law of identity, because a person is an entity. So if you have three entities, they have to be three persons, if they are in fact persons, right? So an entity is anything. It's very strange to go, oh, well, there's one entity and many persons. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Yeah, it makes no sense at all. And it doesn't make sense for omnipotence either, because omnipotence means that you're all powerful. But if say you've got the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, if Jesus cannot exert power over the Holy Spirit, then he's not omnipotent. And if he can, then the Holy Spirit isn't omnipotent. So you've got a problem there. I mean, a lot of them go for maximally powerful, but whether that gets around it is really up to you. Yeah, thank you, Titan. Without a clear indicator of the author's intent, it is impossible to create a parody of extreme views that someone will not mistake for a sincere expression of this view. Yeah, so I'm going to make the law. Without a clear indication of the author's intent, it is impossible for a creationist to make a comment in a chat which is that someone will not mistake for a bot. Look, I'm really just yeah, that's going to be Reed Law. Humanoid biological entity. Yeah, okay. I think that person, like, I would probably use agent instead. Like, an agent is just something that can make decisions, have will of some sort. So yeah, but I get you. God certainly wouldn't be a person under that definition. Absolutely. But that was interesting. Nice in the chat. Thank you for joining us, random Christian person. How did the poll go? What was the person's name? A flyer. Well, your arguments didn't fly. And you know, I will note some of the problems in your reasoning there, like because when you're talking about epistemology, a really bad example is, oh, but it's not useful, and it's like, why should something be true or false based upon its usefulness, right? Like, it may be not useful for you to be in jail, but whether it's useful or not has no bearing on whether it's true or not. This is an appeal to consequence. It's a logical fallacy, because you're basically saying, well, if Christianity is useful, then it must be true, and that doesn't follow, because you can also say that Islam is useful. A slave system is useful. There's all kinds of things that you could define as useful and then say, well, it has to be true because of that. That is not how we evaluate what is true, and it's a really flawed way of doing so. It doesn't matter if it's useful or not. The truth of a ontological state does not hinge on whether it's useful. Like, some things may be very inconvenient. You know, it might be very inconvenient that, you know, as a byproduct of evolution, we have tribalism. That does not make evolution true or false. It's very convenient about evolution that it can adapt you for future environments, or species for future environments, but that does not make it true or false. Like, that's a bad way. It's sort of wishful thinking. No. Terrible way to evaluate the truth. It might be inconvenient. It might be not useful that you're broke. You know, like, that doesn't suddenly put $1 million in the bank. That's not what happens. That isn't how reality works. And you need to get away from that thinking. You need to go, what is actually true, whether I like it or dislike it. Because it's very tempting to think, oh, I'm going to be rewarded by a guy in the sky by having all my dreams come true and, you know, living forever. Just because you like the idea of that doesn't make it true. It doesn't make it false either. That's the thing. It just has no bearing. Like, whether you like the result or not has no bearing on whether it's true or false. It just is. And reality doesn't care about how you know, what you want to be true. It just is true or is not true. So yeah, you're really working on this backwards. Stop trying to go, what would I like to be true, and then finding ways that it's true. Start going, what do I observe around me, and what reliable way can I find out what is true and what is not. I always recommend deconstruction. Always is a good idea for everybody, not just yourself. It's make-believe. Yes, atheism, the lack of belief in any god, is make-believe. What are we making believe? I don't know, Majestic. I don't know. Because maybe there's a gap in my head where there should be a god that I don't know. It's wild. It's very wild. What a way to address the question. It's bad math. Sure. Math, logic, absolutely. They're related. Okay, how'd the poll go? What kind of people? Ooh. Hey, I think I know who voted for God is not the arsehole. It's okay, Flyer. But really, I want you to, like, engage and say why. Why I'm wrong. Like, where is my chain of logic and reasoning going wrong? Like, anybody can just say, hey, you're making it up. It's make-believe. You're just... Where is my chain of reasoning going wrong? That's what I want to talk about. Not just, hey, you're wrong because it exists. It's wild. It's wild. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. In a couple of days, I don't have a member stream this week, but there will be one next week. I will be playing more Mugenics, because it's a cat game. I loved it. So I'm going to be gaming next week with the core crew. You can still get a readership, a membership. It's in the description. Go for it. Knock yourself out. I find it a lot of fun chilling out with you guys. It's a fun time. So yeah, I'm going to be back in. On Friday we have another Fundamentalist Fails. I hope you can join me, because this year's shaping up to be absolutely wild, and I really do want to find out if all of these end of the world predictions are going to be up in 12 months time. It's going to be hilarious. So thank you so much for joining me, everybody. As always, thank you to all of the members, the mods, the people that make this channel work. Let's grow it. Let's make it better, so I can get some damn debates down here, and then I can publish them, and then you can come in and deride me while I debate and tell me I'm using my imagination as... That's a really good point, Beta Ray. Thank you for bringing that up. Yes, I get you. It's not... So it would be like saying to a Christian, well, Allah or Buddha or whatever, that's you imagining that they don't exist. It's a really weird thing to say, right? Yeah, and I do know that probably shouldn't be used as a argument in a debate, but I get the idea. I think the more pertinent point to that one is, why do you reject all of the other gods when they are generally giving the same kind of evidence than you are? I get that you think this one's special, but is there a real hard set reason for that when they're giving all the same answers? So it is cat eugenics. It basically is. It is. That's exactly what it is. But they're really cute, and they're not real cats. They're not real cats. They really aren't real cats. And I love them all. I love them all. You'll debate me? Awesome. Let's do it. What are we debating? What are we debating? What are we debating? Oh, thanks, Aiden. Yeah, and don't forget Aiden Linden is out there doing some good stuff. I don't have your channel. Anyway, I dropped it before. It was a really fun time. Thank you so much, everyone. Don't forget, be kind to yourself. Really, be kind to yourself. This has been stressful time. I know it's been wild lately. Check out when you need to. It's okay. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to each other. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, people.